Welcome to Healthy Cooking for Food Lovers. My name is Marie-France Garon. Today we're making stuffed peppers, and those beauties are fresh from our garden. We picked them this morning, and this is the first of the season, and so they're beautiful and very firm and fresh. So we have all different sizes here. So when you choose them from the supermarket, what you want to do is to go for the larger size because they sit better, and you will see some of them has 4 parts underneath and some has 3. So you'll go for the one with 4, of course, because you can really sit them properly. Now I've chosen this dish that's going to go in the oven, and that's what you want to do. You want to make sure that they will all fit nicely and sit properly inside the dish here to stand. So now we're gonna go and prepare our stuffing of peppers, and so we're gonna go over to the stove and then prepare our stuffing now. Alright, preparing our stuffing for our stuffed peppers, and it's quite a simple recipe, but it just takes a little time so everything gets ready. So we start with the olive oil in our pan, maybe about 2 tablespoons of olive oil here, and this pan was already on the heat a little bit, so we can start adding already our onion. So we have here one quite big brown onion, so all in the pan here with the olive oil. So we're gonna start frying. We don't want to burn the onion, we just want to sweat. So we're just gonna cook them for a little bit first, about 2 minutes probably. So what I do when I put the onion like this at first, I leave them for about 2 minutes. But what I do is I like to spread them around in the pan and just leave it, not stirring constantly, because I want the moisture to evaporate a little bit, and it leaves us with the nice steamed onions. So that's what it's happening exactly. So now it's perfect how I wanted it, and we'll add 2 cloves of garlic. And nearly every recipe starts with onion and garlic, but what's important is to always fry the onion first, so we don't burn our garlic. So we send the garlic here, and we're going to continue adding the rest of the ingredients immediately, because as I just said, we do not want to burn our garlic. So we have 1 pound or half a kilo of ground beef. I like to use beef and pork. This is my first choice. A lot of people like to make it just with the beef, but I add both, so this can slowly brown start to cook. So now it's time for seasoning. Remember, seasoning at every step of the recipe all the time, so salt is very important to give it the nice flavor. So we're gonna add the salt directly on our meat here, which is lovely, and then pepper, of course, so salt and pepper here, and we're gonna keep stirring. Now we're ready to add some herbs. And what I have is I have a big, like a tablespoon here of oregano, dried oregano. And what we do is just put it in your hand and rub it together so it releases all the flavor into your dish. And same with the parsley. I'm just gonna put it in my hand and squash it a little bit like this, and it gives it more flavor. So here we are with the meat browning nicely. Add the rest of the ingredients. Doesn't matter if it's a little bit pink, because it's gonna simmer for about 10 minutes after we finish adding all the ingredients. So it's gonna simmer, so it's okay. We see a little bit of pink still, but that's fine. Let's keep going. We're gonna add our crushed tomato, and this is our last jar of tomato that we canned from last season, from last summer. And this is our last one, and it's interesting. Our tomatoes are just ready, so we're gonna make some more for the winter soon. But this one from our garden from last year, and they're all crushed. So we put all the juice and the tomato here in there, and then so that's gonna create juice. To this I will add half a cup of water, because it's gonna simmer, and we're gonna add our rice as well in a minute. So we need this extra liquid here to cook our rice. So I have chosen brown rice today, just because this is the rice that we prefer to use, but we can use basmati or any other rice that you have at home. Very often we use the rice that we use for the risotto as well in this recipe, but here we have brown rice. Just remember that brown rice will take a little bit longer to cook. I have half a cup of washed brown rice here. So we're gonna mix it all together. So this will simmer for 10 minutes, and we'll cover it up and come back here in 10 minutes. Let's go and prepare our peppers. Okay, our stuffing is simmering. Our oven is heating at 400 degrees Fahrenheit, 200 Celsius. And so timing is perfect. Let's have a look at our peppers now. We have different sizes here, so let's take this nice one, and we'll start by cutting the little hat off here, the top, okay? So we're gonna keep this because we're gonna use it for the cooking. So now we need to get rid of the seeds in the middle, so I'll use the small kitchen knife and just cut all the membranes here, and voila, it's all out. And I will just use a teaspoon and come and cut the rest of the little white bits that is here inside, and a few seeds will come out. And now it's perfect, it's ready to use. So we'll prepare all our peppers the same way, and it'll be ready for the stuffing in 10 minutes. Alright, it's been 10 minutes now, and our stuffing is just about ready. But to finish off, we'll just turn off the heat, and we'll add some fresh parsley, fresh oregano. Now, you remember I used the dried one to cook, but when we use the fresh herbs, we don't want to cook them, we just want to have them fresh and tasty. So we add them at the very end when we turn off the heat, and then we can add the fresh herbs, parsley and oregano. And again, I just chop them roughly, and what I'll do when I add them is squeeze them to release the nice flavor out of it, just like that. And just add them all. It's a big bunch of parsley and oregano here to finish off. Now we're ready to stuff our peppers. So we'll go over here, leave that there, and as you can see, I have all the little tops ready to go back on. So we're just gonna start putting all the stuffing, and also there's quite a little bit of liquid here because our rice is not cooked yet, so it's gonna absorb all this liquid as well. So let's start with our first one, just putting all the stuffing, a little bit of more of the juice in there and put the top on. And we'll do that for each one of our peppers. And what we want is just to make sure that they sit. A little bit more. All right, and they're all standing really properly there. So it's gonna cook like this. So now we are going to add some potatoes to this dish, and they will all cook together. And so we have some more crushed tomato here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna add some olive oil. Quite a little bit of olive oil here, so about maybe a quarter of a cup of olive oil. And we're gonna add salt, pepper, of course, at every step. Salt and pepper here. And we're gonna add our potato to this. So I've just chopped them here in little long pieces like that, and I left the skin all in here with the tomato, a little bit more salt because we know potato they need salt. So now we're gonna mix this. So there's the olive oil and the tomato, and all our potatoes are there. So we're gonna just mix it like that, and then put them all here in the middle. That's gonna help to keep our peppers standing as well. So we just make sure we just place them like this in between, so it's all holding. And now we have all this beautiful tomato left. So what we're gonna do is just to make sure we add it to our peppers, so because we want them to stay moist. Remember, there's a lot of olive oil here as well. So we're just gonna add all of that tomato here. Here we are. Just make sure that everything stays moist. So we're gonna cover with foil to go into the oven. So it's gonna go for 45 minutes at 400, and then we'll take it out and take the foil out and finish the grilling without the foil for another 15 minutes after. It doesn't have to be extra tight, but we just don't want them to start roasting immediately. We want them to cook. So we're just gonna put it just like this. Our oven is ready, so 45 minutes in there at 400. Et voila, our stuffed peppers. They look amazing. They smell really, really, really nice. And as you can see, there's a little bit of char on top. That's what we want. So we left them with the foil for 45 minutes, and then take off the foil and let it cook for a further 15 minutes after that. And now it's time to have a look inside. So I'll just get this first one that's right here, get it out, and then we're gonna open it like this. It's perfect, looks good. We'll serve it with a few potatoes on the side, and a little bit more juice as well. Oh, that's gonna be so lovely. Here we go, our stuffed peppers, fresh from our garden with some nice potato. Already, it smells beautiful. Bon appétit!